Kicking off in Season 6, Hallmarks fan favorite, When Calls the Heart saw Elizabeth enter into a major love triangle with Hope Valley's newest bachelors, Nathan Grant and Lucas Bouchard. Though the Season 8 finale seemed to put this will they won't they romance to rest, lingering tensions between the three have kept the love triangle firmly in mind. Hallmark star Kevin McGarry weighed in on the relationship between his character and leading Lady Elizabeth, recognizing its ongoing complexities. "It's complicated. It's always been complicated," McGarry shared in an interview with Canadian super channel Heart and Home. "They are connected, but at the same time, they're like a puzzle piece you've got to jam together." McGarry plays Nathan, who arrived in Hope Valley as the new town constable following the death of Elizabeth's husband Jack Thornton. Soon after his arrival, it became clear that the Mountie had feelings for the town's school teacher, feelings he confessed to in Season 8. Though Elizabeth Thatcher rejected Nathan Grant following his love confession in Season 8 of When Calls the Heart, the two have maintained their undeniable connection in the subsequent seasons. Kevin McGarry, who plays Nathan, opened up about his character's feelings towards Elizabeth following his rejection and her engagement to his romantic rival Lucas. "There will always be a spot in his heart for Elizabeth, and in the beginning, he's accepting of the situation," the actor told Media Village in 2022. During an interview with Canadian super channel Heart and Home, McGarry similarly discussed the evolving dynamic between the two, explaining that their connection has led to a lot of pain in the past. "They find solace in each other, although it's hard," the actor shared. "And I think the fact that they just know each other so well, and they're able to call each other out on the truth of who they each are, it leads to hurt feelings sometimes, or it leads to things said, and that's happened since they met." While Nathan's feelings for Elizabeth might not be reciprocated, that doesn't mean the When Calls the Heart character has been totally bereft of a love life. Following Elizabeth's rejection, the constable encountered a couple of potential love interests, including town nurse Faith Carter and pharmacist Mai Sewell. In a behind-the-scenes interview for Season 10, Kevin McGarry spoke about his character's attempts at love, acknowledging that it's been quite the journey. Nathan finally comes to terms with the fact that he's not great at romance, the Hallmark star said. But his heart has always been open. This isn't the first time that McGarry has referenced Nathan's vulnerable nature, as he also talked about his character's emotional maturity in an interview with TV Fanatic. "I don't think Nathan has a short fuse. He is just not good at masking his feelings, both good and bad," he explained. "I look at him more as wearing his heart on the sleeve of his serge." The Hallmark Channel has mastered the art of capturing the spirit of joy and gratitude in the numerous films they put out each year. And while they cornered the market on all things holly jolly, they also know the recipe for the perfect autumnal flick. From sets teeming with multicolored leaves and pumpkins galore to the romantic stories set during the harvest season, take a look at the 12 best Hallmark Thanksgiving movies. Perfect for the big day when you find yourself in that annual tryptophan coma. Hillary, played by Bonnie Somerville, is constantly dealing with the pressure to marry, put there by none other than her mom. Finally, Hillary is elated to bring her lawyer fiancé along with her for Thanksgiving, only to be broken up with before the holiday. Scrambling, Hillary puts an ad out online and recruits out-of-work actor David to play the part. But what happens when his role starts to feel a little more like reality? Will her mother see through her charade? Daphne Zuniga plays Claudia, a single, successful lawyer who is absorbed in her lavish lifestyle. In a twist of fate, she has an encounter with a mystic and finds herself in an alternate reality where she is a stay-at-home mom, struggling to make sense of this new life she finds herself in. One of our favorite Hallmark Thanksgiving-themed movies, Jen Lilly plays a widowed surgeon, returning home to her family's pure farm with her young son in an effort to disconnect from her hectic life back home. It's there where she meets Will, the farm's manager, and begins falling for him. November Christmas tells the story of a father and his efforts to bring joy to his sick daughter. Teaming up with his neighbor, played by Sam Elliott, they conspire a plan to propel the big events of the year forward for his daughter and son. Halloween in August and Christmas in November. This film tells a moving story about community and coming together. Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade follows Emily, a woman whose career revolves around planning the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade each year. When a wealthy development consultant is hired to analyze the numbers and increase profits, Emily isn't exactly overjoyed, chalking him up to a wealthy playboy. When she starts to lean on him for help, she realizes that maybe he isn't who she thought he was, and might even start falling for him in the process. Here we have one of the quintessential Hallmark Thanksgiving movies on the list. A radio station manager in a small New England town butts heads with a visiting businessman until she recruits him to participate in her bachelor bake-off in an effort to save her radio station. Teenage Annie and Ben elope, with plans to leave their small Iowa town, until Annie's parents have the marriage annulled, and instead of heading to the big city, Annie stays behind to help her family in Iowa. Flash forward 15 years, with both Annie and Ben engaged to different people. They learn their annulment was never finalized and must reunite to legalize their divorce. When they come together again, they begin wondering about what could have been had things gone differently. An old-fashioned Thanksgiving comes from the mind of Little Women author Louisa May Alcott, and tells the story of Mary Bassett, a mother of 3 who has come upon hard times on their family farm. Unable to even afford a turkey for Thanksgiving dinner, Mary's wealthy yet estranged mother pays the family a visit, and although she connects with Mary's daughters and attempts to heal their financial hardships, Mary resents her attempts. A classic in terms of Hallmark Thanksgiving movies. When a Boston lawyer named Mary inherits a house from her late aunt in Plymouth, her initial reaction is to sell it, not realizing that the home she has acquired may actually be located at the site of the very first Thanksgiving. A local historian works to prove his theory of the house's historic value, while Mary tries to cling to the house for herself and the childhood memories it holds. Mary must ultimately decide what's more important, her own memories or preserving the historic integrity of the home. Rhian Pavey plays a pro football player. Pascal Hutton plays a mother to a flag football playing daughter, and the two cross paths when he is sidelined by an injury. Angela Young is an author itching to escape the media frenzy surrounding the release of her new book, so she escapes to see some fall foliage and finds some peace of mind. When she gets caught in a storm sending her into a tree, she hits her head and temporarily loses her memory, only to be cared for by the town doctor Jeff.